Hello, everyone. I'm going to introduce you to the final school support overview workshop. This is a recording for those who weren't able to make any of the 8 previous sessions. It's aimed, as you can see from the title, at SIPs, partner schools, and EAS staff as well. So it follows on from consultations we took place in the summer with a range of partners that you can see there on the screen. If you were involved in any of those, you will not see any surprises. Hopefully, you'll just see gradual improvements and developments in what you see in this demonstration. The first thing to remind you, of course, is how to access it. There is an access guide. On that access guide, you have a link, which is the key link, email learning intelligence, if you haven't received that already. And when I show you the next page, this is an in private browser, and it's critical. You can see the link at the top of the page there, that to get into Hub for the first time, you do it in an in private browser, an in private window. You can use Chrome as well as Edge, but then you click and you press enter. This will take you into our system for the very first time. When you're in that school information sharing site, bear in mind I can see a little bit more than other people because I have access to the whole system, but you will see schools, and you will see, if you are a head or a SIP, you will see your school and those schools you are supporting, plus some guidance and documentation folders. So you'll see the Word and the PowerPoint in there. You will also see other documentation. You will see a small number of schools and your cluster in there as well. Now, a key point is synchronization, and this is in the guide as well. But to synchronize, make sure you click sync, and then what will happen when you've clicked synchronize, it will show you, and I'll show you on the next slide, it will show you the view of every school you're entitled to see from now and forevermore. You're in a folder structure. So rather than having to access it on the web, you can access it in a folder. You click on the folder. It will be, if I show you in the folder structure here, in Hub, you can have access to multiple SharePoints in the schools, and you will see the same list, and you will see the Excel for the SSO and all previous folders in the past. If you're just providing partner support, partner school support, you will only see your own school folder, and I'll show you where to put things in the demonstration in a minute. Sync, you only need to do it once, but it will make life a lot easier for you if you do. You may have access policies where the local authority is blocking what you can access, but let your support provider know if you have any issues with that. It's worth a reminder as well, if you have ongoing issues, email learning intelligence rather than anybody individually within the EAS, and the team will get it to the right people to be able to provide support to you, even for a one-to-one troubleshooting. The single plan overview, I'll show you and cover the detail of this in a demonstration, but you get a feel for it there. It is simplified compared with previous years. It's more restricted. You can only access certain cells, and the local authority function is now in one box rather than multiple rows, which means that all those rows underneath will automate for those of you have used them before. We've tightened up a little bit at the start with recording of names so that it's no longer initials, so we know exactly who's there, who's providing the support. It's worth mentioning as well at this stage the rationale, in that we are collecting this support, we're completing these because this is all funded activity, either from Welsh Government grant or on behalf of local authorities. So we do need to know how that money is being spent and how that money is being delivered effectively. From K and L, they are the same purpose, but they have been renamed in alignment with our intent, implementation, impact processes. So on the intent was previously this assess criteria. Implementation is what you actually did when you undertook the activity. Then on the next row, and these are new compared with previous years, there is a greater emphasis on the impact, both short term at the end of a visit and longer term, perhaps at the end of a term or a year, where you can return to put that longer term impact in. I will show you those and how to access them in a moment. Key points: it no longer has to be opened in the Excel app, so the data entry form has gone. It is important that you record any activity, even if phone call if required. That's not all phone calls, but if, for example, you are agreeing to do something that is important, then in a phone call, then yes, that should be recorded. They should also be succinct, clear descriptions rather than being overly verbose in any of what you're writing in these documents. The fourth point is an important one as well. If it's multiple activities or multiple people, must record on multiple lines. For example, if you're a SIP and you're doing head teacher performance management in the morning, but you're doing learning walks in the afternoon, then writing a single entry on that is going to be difficult compared with splitting it up into two separate rows as a bit of advice. This is the tab. At the start of it, we've bulked up, mainly thanks to colleagues in the PSIP team who've written a lot of guidance on each one in the form of placemats. So those placemats are on every one. They'll print A3. They've got very useful language examples for you to consider, evaluative language examples being at the heart of them as well. And they tell you exactly what needs to happen by when. So they are a great guide in those four tabs highlighted there. The others, the support plan completed by the SIP, but where there's intensive support required, can contact teams and request their help and support in completing that work. The NOA completed by everyone providing support into a single school, apart from the partner schools where you are just doing generic partner support in a particular area. What you will do instead is record it in your partner school, provide a tab in your own school's NOA, and on a periodic, usually a weekly or fortnightly basis, it will go into the NOAs in the other schools so that it's recorded there as well. You've then got some new documents, but they're only new in Excel. They were in Word in the past. You had the supported self-evaluation for the SIP, and the SIP would normally have done that in a Word document in the past in 3 separate Word documents for each term. We're now asking for it in Excel. For intensive support schools, there's another SSE tab as well to evaluate the impact of that support, that intensive support. You also have a pick. It's labeled pick form, but it's a pick evidence base collection repository in Excel, which I will show you as well. You then have 2 tabs, which are for information, not requiring SIP or partner schools to complete, but Learning Intelligence will run systems to populate a range of information into the school on a page, and the school details tab as well, where we ask the SIP to work with the head to collect key leadership role information so we know who's who in schools, particularly for the funded posts. What I'm going to do now is give you a brief demonstration tab by tab with reminders of the couple of the key things of copying and pasting from Word Excel, which can be quirky, the partner school sheet and how to copy down there, and a reminder, dates format if you were using the online version because you're having trouble accessing the app. It can be problematic, but if you use the web version, you will have to enter the dates in an American format of month first, then date, then year, but it does then convert to the right format when you have done that. That's just the web version, not Excel app. So one thing you could do if you've watched this video as well, we're a request so we know the number of people who are doing this, is by all means grab a QR code reader using your phone and just take 2 minutes at the most to record that you've watched this video. That would be great. Okay. Demonstration. So the Excel, you've got a range of tabs at the front. Remember with Excel, it can appear quite small. It will definitely appear smaller on this video because recorded in Teams, but you can zoom in and out when you're in the Excel document itself. You will see those guides and those guides, if you want to print them out, they will print into a proper page of A4 format or A3 in terms of some of the placemats. G1, as I've said, has the guidance predominantly aimed at SIPs, but useful for others in that it will provide a range of descriptors, evaluative language, and the number of days. I'll move on to the support plan itself, though. You will see that a number of the cells up here, I can't click on, they're all locked. You have had training sessions with your with other colleagues in the EAS on the elements to fill in, the self-evaluation and the plan itself. With the SDP priorities, we've increased the range from 5 to 7 because on request, with the number of schools having 7, you can type a summary of each high level SDP priority here. When you do, it will actually the actions that you're going to take. So the SIP will, the success criteria, if you want to add in extra lines and work down lines, Alt Enter is a very useful tool. So you can do use that multiple times. So the Alt key and the Enter key allow multiple lines. Is very useful for tidying up that area and getting your point across succinctly. It will ask you then, you will notice things change red as you go through each of these, so you know exactly what to fill in next. Come the end of the autumn term, these will turn red, so you know to be writing brief evaluations. And impact to date. Okay. Now, useful tip here as well. You may have a document, either in Excel, I'm just using this example, I'm using the guide, but either in Word or in Excel, you may have a bit of text and you're thinking, oh, that 4 lines of text, that'll neatly describe one particular activity. So I've taken a copy, so one SDP priority area, copy it in, a problem. What you can see has happened, it's pasted into 4 separate rows because in Word it was 4 rows of text. Therefore, it's gone wrong in my eyes. So Control and Z will undo. So if you click undo or Control and Z, always using Control and Z to undo the last thing you've done is really useful if it goes wrong. Instead, and I pasted it in that box, don't paste it in that box. Instead, paste it in the formula bar at the top. You can enlarge the formula bar. So you'll see that 4 lines of writing have gone in the formula bar at the top. If I then press enter, it goes into one cell in Excel. It tells me the next action. It tells me then the next success criteria. You can paste things in much more easily. Down the bottom, you have local authority support. You also have, as you complete the NOA as the SIP or head teacher, you can see all the activity that's gone into the school. In terms of the NOA, if we move on to that cell, you do have the G2 guidance and into the NOA SDP. It will tell you again exactly the cells that you need to complete. So going across those, it tells you which ones you need to complete. They are predominantly, as I've said, exactly as before. So that's for the SIP and any EAS staff to be writing that support in there, or where the SIP is also the partner school as well. For partner schools, this will be in your own NOA. So in your own NOA, if you've been working with a school or more than one school, you can type in here. It should tell you and only have the areas that you are completing. If that you think that's wrong, email Learning Intelligence and they will be able to help. So you can both plan in this tool as well as record activity. Participant school is a huge drop down list, but you can type the names in there as well. 1.5 hours to complete. I'll do this very quickly. The reason that went error because it's the practitioner model, so I need to do that. Click on there. Organizational changes twice is not good, so I'll change that. Agreed future actions and whether they've been completed or not. At this stage, no. The longer term impact we would leave. Now, say I've done this work with 4 or 5 schools. I would highlight all of those and drag down. Can you notice a slight problem with the way I've dragged down there though? The length of activity, because Excel always works in series, has added an hour on to every one of those length of activity. Instead, to stop that happening, if I click on that and click on copy cells instead, it will go down with the right dates, the right number of hours, it will keep it consistent. What will then happen on a weekly, fortnightly basis, Learning Intelligence team will push that information out into the recipient's NOAA so it's all in one place. That's it for the Partner School tab. You've then got guidance for the supported self-evaluation. SIPs from previous years will recognize the titles here, but they have evolved to be in Excel in one place. You can, again, if you wish, copy and paste text in, but beware that if you are pasting text into one cell, it will come up with an error message. I copied 4 different lines there and tried to paste 4 different lines in. If you want to do that into one, you do have to paste them into the line at the top. The next and final elements, you've got the supported self-evaluation for teams, which is the same. You've then got the pre-inspection commentary. Again, if you wanted to use Word, you can do that. You can paste into the formula bar at the top or write directly in. You've then got, as the final parts of these, the school on a page overview, which has a range of contextual information on the school governing body, inspections, ESTIN recommendations, schools as learning organisations, and finally, the PL that you undertake with us. These are the awarded PLs, such as NQTs or NPQHs. We record that there, but any PL where someone has completed the attendance register will be recorded in this tab there. We've also got, and this is entirely optional for heads to use, an area for you to write any other PL in as well if you want to consider adding those in so you can all record in one place. The final page in the SSO is, and these will be filled in with our current contact details for you, but if you need to amend those, and if you want to share who the key senior leadership members are so that others can contact, then we ask you to fill that in partnership with your SIP as well. So we've got details in one place. So hopefully you can see with the SSO, we are embracing and putting everything into one rather than spreading out in Excel and Word documents, everything into one place about one school and trying to minimize any access issues. If you do, and this is absolutely key, if you do have any access issues or queries, remember, there's the login details. But if you have any login issues at all, please notify Learning Intelligence of any technical issues. They're used to getting queries off people. They're happy to support either by arranging a phone call or arranging a Teams meeting where they can walk things through for you with the right person. So if there's any problems in the first instance, learning.intelligence@sewells.eas.org.uk and the team will escalate to the right people so that we can get support to you so that we can use the system as seamlessly as possible. So, diolch yn fawr iawn pawb. Hope you appreciated this brief description and demonstration. Let us know if there are any problems. Bob, look.